It's off-season time, everybody, here with the Kalispell Warhawks as we are ending Season 14. We won our bowl game in dominant fashion against NC State. It was a great way to cap off what's been a really tough season for us. We obviously struggled a lot more than we're used to, but we finished with 5 straight victories, a dominant bowl win, and now we look ahead to 2026. And I am counting on this being the final year of Kalispell football. It's been a great series. Many of you have been here since the very beginning, and thank you for that. We've gone through a lot with this team, but I think that it's about time to end the series. Many believe it should have been done by now, but I'm thinking one more year with the Warhawks. Hey Nate, thank you for the super chat. Been watching since UTSA. Love your stuff. You're thinking Washington for franchise? Yeah, with their roster, I have to consider them. Haskins, Geis, Terry, Chase Young. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate that, man. Nicholas, thank you for becoming a new member on the channel. Thank you for the kind words, Aqua King. Great support so far in the stream. Thank you all for being here. But yes, we have an off season to get to. I've already recapped the year. I've already watched the bowl game between Army and Nebraska. It was on the channel yesterday, and it was a 20-17 win for Army. A really good game. I counted them out, but they pulled it off, playing some really surprising defense against Nebraska. All right, everybody, we're going to the off season right now. Before we do that, I know, 30-minute intro, and now I'm full starting myself. Who thinks that we could see some juniors declare? We have so many high-rated juniors, I have to think at least one is gone. When you look at players in the 90s, I think we have like 5 or 6 juniors there. I'm thinking at least one declares, and I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Irvin is done. Although if he comes back, we can play the whole angle of he's working on his draft stock. So if we have one more year of the series, will Luke Irvin be our quarterback, or will it be somebody else? Let's begin our journey here, everybody, and what I'm planning on being the final offseason with the Kalispell Warhawks. When you end a series, do I ever continue to play it off screen? No, I've never done that actually, Bam. Nope. Nicholas, thank you for the super chat. Irvin, Rosthorn, Jackson, and Red all declare. Yeah, this whole time I've been thinking that, okay, one player declares, who's it going to be? But you're right, it could be a lot more. Bam Gaming, thank you for becoming a new member. Member stream tomorrow for all the channel members. I don't have any immediate plans for NCAA in the future, but there are things I could get to, like a coach carousel, with like an option offensive coordinator, another rebuild. I got a few different options, but I'm not looking at immediately starting anything, and plus I have a whole year of Kalispell to go through. Maddox could leave. I really don't want him to, because I ended up utilizing him really well late in the season. How old am I? I'm almost 28. I'm 27 right now. Have I ever considered relocating a Madden team in franchise? I have. It would be a nice change of pace, I think. Something different. How tall am I? About 5'10" on a good day. What's for dinner? I don't know yet. I want tacos, though. Always want tacos. I should do an experiment. I should eat tacos every single day until I don't want to and see how long it would take. Coach Carousel rebuild? Definitely possible, Pee-wee. How did Stanford do in their bowl game? Wow, Auburn all over Minnesota. That's not how it's supposed to go. All right, Notre Dame and Stanford, and Notre Dame running away with the Holiday Bowl, 38-21. Two more teams we faced this season went head-to-head. We're probably taking on Stanford again. I just love that rivalry so much. Thank you for all the content, Kane. I appreciate that. Ever thought about doing a Buck-style series featuring your old franchises? Kinda, but not every game would play all that well. Some of the gameplay wouldn't hold up. I think that's one of the main things. And plus, I kind of like doing new things and exploring new ideas. So, I haven't really given like a return to those series much thought. Any cashews today? No, I was thinking about getting some peanuts, but I thought that would be, I don't want to turn on the cashews like that. Check on the remaining Jean-Charles family. Will do, Hungry Gamer. We probably got to play against them. I think Oregon State's going to be on the schedule. Hate seeing the Warhawks series go, but can't wait to see what you come up with next. Appreciate that, Craig. Coach Extension. We'll just sign it. I'm imagining we're losing coordinators. One more season at least? Yep, one more year. One more year with Kalispell. Any chance we see a Minnesota season 11? I don't think so. What happened to the Kane challenge? A patch wrecked my plans on Madden 19, and I don't want to go back to that game anytime soon. Okay, the edited version is gonna have me in like the first 10 minutes, but now I'm gonna be off of it. I forgot to change that so I don't block any information on screen. Oh yeah, James Franklin got fired. 6 and 7's not very strong. Honey roasted pistachios. I'm not sure I could do that, because I used to like be really into these honey roasted peanuts a long time ago, and I got like the biggest container, and I made it like a quarter of the way through, and I'm like, I'm never eating this again. What's my favorite offensive and defensive playbook? Well, I have custom playbooks in this series, but if there was a stock playbook that I liked the most, I'd have to say Florida's or Oregon's. Those spread option playbooks are really nice. Yesterday, the Nebraska offense was the Florida offense. That was what their playbook was set to. And I forget what team had Oregon's playbook that we played against, but I like that one too. Eddie, thank you for becoming a new member on the channel. I appreciate that. Would I try an old school under center, fullback and halfback strong offense? I was thinking more option, potentially. All right, coaching changes. Let's see if we have new coordinators. Let me take notes here. We pretty much lose coordinators every year, but we only had 9 wins, so maybe we didn't have any change. Let's see. Extension? Extension. No changes for Kalispell, actually. That's a new one. I wonder what Starks is up to. Oh, it doesn't show every coach here. Only changes. All right. Players leaving. We have some very key juniors. I think some could choose to declare early. And again, I'm not stopping them if they want to go pro. So here we go. Who's going? Whoa! 4 declaring, 3 transferring. Lindsay going to the NFL. Rosthorn. Josh Schmidt. Drake Maddox is declaring. Irvin stays, but Trey Little wants playing time. JD Thomas. And Kyle Tidwell. Wow, we're losing a lot of players. What's going on, Blackjack? Look at everybody leaving. Kyle Tidwell. I think he's also gone. He's homesick. I'll let him go home. That is a lot to lose. Oh, come on. Kendrick can play in the NFL. Well, then. This is going to be a very interesting offseason. You know what? Actually, you'll play every game. Well. I didn't plan on this. JD Thomas especially, he would have had a huge role with Maddox leaving. Here are his ratings. 81 speed, 73 catching. Craig Booth, welcome to starting tight end. And Schmidt. Lindsay's gone. I think Chambers is going to take his role. Yeah, why not? No, it doesn't hurt. I never understood why EA always wanted to make their own keyboards. They still do that now. Like, they don't just use the PlayStation keyboard. Still got Sherrod Edwards. Still got Jim Jackson, indeed. Alright, we're moving on, everybody. Transfer requests. Watch, we're going to get some really good transfers now, as I want this to be the last season. None. Pretty much never any transfer requests. Alright, draft results. Netflix just ordered 3 more seasons. I mean, there's always going to be something interesting about these dynasties. You have to decide when it ends, because it just doesn't really die on its own. Mike Hill, 3rd round quarterback. Now, I'm not planning on there actually being any more draft classes from Blackjack in the Broncos franchise. I know that's kind of a big announcement here. But, had a big storm this week. And something's wrong with the PlayStation that I use, that I let Madden stay updated on, where I was able to get the files. Because I don't play Madden on the newest patch, and so I can't access Madden Share at all. So, I may have to get creative with what I do this year in the Broncos series. But what I was thinking is I would say, okay, first CPU team to take a running back, they get Jason Slaughter. and maybe have that kind of a plan. Like, don't let me have them because they're going to probably be really good players, and it just wouldn't be fair. Bonds goes 3rd round. But what about, you know, I'll say, okay, first team that takes a running back, they get Jason Slaughter. I'll edit him later. Yeah, this would have been a fun one. I didn't want you to get ahead on making it, though, when I have no way of really getting a file. I know how much time it takes to put into that. We're also, you know, getting closer to Madden 21 and whatnot, so I think it'll be all right. We have so much that you've already done for the series. Big thanks to Blackjack. Don't forget to support him on his Twitch. Blackjack streams. If you're a night owl, then I'm sure your schedules will align properly. If I had to choose a school over again, what school would I choose? I'm pretty happy with what I chose for this team builder. I think if I were to go back and not do Minnesota, I mean, the other team I was considering was Cal, and they had some really good players. I forget who I would have had at the time. I think I don't know if Keenan Allen was still there. I think like Bryce Treggs was there. Maybe a couple other receivers. Yeah, Jason Slaughter 1st round. I'll try to make sure that Jason Slaughter still makes it to our league. Exactly, Craniac. His streams are always a lot of fun. Yeah, Treggs was definitely there. I think that might have been the year after Allen went pro. Maryland would have been fun, of course. They would have had Diggs at the time. And it was when they were just getting into being in the Big Ten. All right. A lot of draft picks here. Stanford's going to have some change. I also went through to find a few more players to add to our recruiting board, but our offseason recruiting is not going to be all that eventful. Just the way things bounce this year. Yeah, UCLA is not good anymore. 2 going pro. USC only has 4. The Pac-12 was a little bit of a letdown, honestly. Like, I love that we got the Stanford rivalry, but all the other teams just kept letting me down in terms of, like, being solid competition. Had to leave. When is the next NFL head coach stream? I'm not exactly sure at the moment because I have to work on this franchise preseason. That's going to take some time. And I may try to do just an episode on my own, a quicker one of head coach, just so I can get something posted. Had another hectic week. Huge storm on like Tuesday. And I hadn't done anything Monday. I just wanted to take the day off and refresh a little bit. And then big storm comes in. I had no internet for like 2 days because all my equipment got fried. And stuff had to be like fixed outside of the utilities. Such a mess. The storms are bigger in Texas, that's for sure. All right, Nate Carter. He may be a starter after Schmidt went pro. Yep, member stream tomorrow, indeed. I swear there was a faster way to do this. Maybe not. What is Blackjack's Twitch? I believe it's Blackjack XXI. I'm going to try to find it quick. So I'm sure. The Blackjack XXI. I can actually post links in my chat. Follow him. Support Blackjack. He's part of why Kalispell was even chosen. He was way back there in the inception of this series when I didn't know what to do. He said, why not go to Montana? I went to Wyoming. You're going to Montana. Oh, NFL head coach for tomorrow? I'm not going to do head coach in the member stream tomorrow. The head coach takes a long time when I stream it. Push R3 to the right. That maxed it. And that... well, that's certainly one way to go about it. Oh, it's down there on the screen too, min-max. I love learning things like years after I should have learned them. Alright, Carter's probably getting a ton. I don't have a lot of high-rated players here who are going to get much more attention. But there's going to be room now for another receiver to emerge. I think that's probably going to be Josh Vincent's chance. Alright, so after Carter, we have these 4 players. DJ Sisk. I see a good safety skill set here. I also see a good receiver skill set. I think I want him on the team. And running back. How is he a 66 overall? He has like 28 awareness? Alright, somewhere in the ballpark of 3K. It could just be those two. I didn't lose a lot of players. I don't have to add a ton. I had 11 seniors, but then I had 4 guys go pro and 3 transfers. So actually it's 18 replacing. If that's the case, then the draft class already has like 13 players. I didn't even scout you? Not bad. Let's make sure he's not already like plus 1,000 for somebody else. Perfect. I'm not sure if you can get insta commit there. I am in first place, so possibly, but didn't get it. I'm thinking those 3 are the focus. They both have all scholarships. Perfect. I like when off-season recruiting is a little more simple, because for every off-season I've done here, the chats just, they always have a thought on what to do in this stage. I need to go a lot here on Randall to even get him to accept, probably. I'm thinking 5K or so. Whoops. I feel good with that. What's sim? What's the most intense recruiting I can remember? I always go back to the in-season recruiting of Tyrone Campbell and having that fail, and then having to find Andy McKenzie and getting so lucky. We've had some big ones here in the off seasons, but I can't remember specifically. But I've spent probably a half hour on some of those. Sisk looks like a tight end or linebacker. I'll have to consider tight end because I think that position's wide open. I know Booth is going to have good ratings, but he doesn't have great catching. I really hope we get Sisk because he could definitely play early on. How many of you guys play Warzone? Carter, Randall, Sisk. Not the most dramatic one, but there you go. Why haven't they destroyed downtown yet? I want to know. And why is the stadium so useless? Hey, Kane, you've taken me through middle school and now to college. Longest YouTuber I've stayed sub to. Thank you for the endless content. I appreciate that. Thank you for sticking around. Have I thought about repeating teams I've already done for a Madden series? Maybe like the Jags for the Sims series, or like the Buccaneers style. I think I would consider it, but I try to use different teams anyway. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Warzone. It's kind of a fun game. I'm awful at it. But, whoops. Forgot what I was doing here. What's your guys' favorite drop? I know I asked this a little while ago. I just want to see what everyone's saying now. Let's go to signing day. Oh, I have to go to the recruiting board? I don't know why that confused me so much. Hey guys, let's settle down with all the Irvin stuff, please. I was asking favorite drop in Warzone. Looking for some new places to start going. I'm not good enough to drop hot and win like a bunch of 50-50 fights. Lately, I've really liked going to the buildings near Super, like on the map to the left, like across the street. I think there's a gas station there, and there's a building that has an ammo station. No, you don't drop downtown, Patrick. You don't drop downtown. If I'm feeling like zero confidence in my game, though, I will drop downtown. This is a pretty good draft class, though. Not bad. Hospital. Hospital, it's a maze inside, and I just can't drop anywhere where the main building, the top building has like only one way up. If you don't fall there, you're kind of screwed. And also the hospital itself, without a map, no way. All right, not bad. We ended up getting the 3 players I wanted. Simple draft class. I'm sure we were still top 15 or so. I watch a lot of Warzone streams, so I brought it up. I haven't played as much in a little while, but I like watching Warzone streams quite a bit. There's so many good players out there. Yeah, 8th. Perfect. TV station for sniping. Yeah, TV station's kind of fun. The inside isn't as confusing. I'm pretty happy with that recruiting class. No, I'm not planning on streaming any Warzone. You want to watch a guy just drop gulag all the time? Who's my favorite Warzone streamer? I tend to watch a lot more in the mornings, and like TP's on every day. Also watch Symphony just because he's ridiculous at the game. If any of you know Iceman Isaac, he's another streamer that's grown incredibly in popularity since Warzone dropped. I really like his stuff. in the guys he runs with. And whenever the pros play Warzone, that's also fun. I know a lot of guys for the phase are really good, and then I've watched Scump for a long time, but I don't know if he's been doing a lot of Warzone lately. What have you missed? Ethan, we lost 4 players who declared early, and none of them were Luke Irvin, but we lost Nick Lindsay, Sylvester Rosthorn, we lost Drake Maddox, and Josh Schmidt. I have a lot of running backs. I'm a little surprised Irvin didn't leave. Who becomes starting tight end now? If you're looking at speed and catching, Ty Navarro? Josiah Jensen? We'll leave that one to the practice to decide, I guess. We have to check out Sisk. Alright, DJ Sisk. 53 tight end would be a really solid wide receiver. And safety. His catching is an 80 though. So how bad is the blocking then if he's so weak at tight end? That's 40. It's as low as it'll go. So he could do everything else. The catching is an 80. The speed is 86. But that wouldn't make him better than Jensen. Because Jensen has higher catching, almost the same speed, and his blocking is not going to be a 40. It's not much better, but slight edge to Jensen. But we could put him at receiver and just move him around. Yeah, what is he even a 66 at? He's a 66 overall athlete if he's at linebacker. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe wide receiver. And for DeMarcus Williams, I've been thinking safety this whole time. So Sisk at wideout. Could he make an impact as a freshman? I don't know, because all these players are going to get better. But we can move him around still. Possibly. I have no fullback. I think we'll just see who our walk-on is and live with it. It's kind of fun. We did that with Trey Dunn, and it went just fine. I'm a little bit worried, though, about our offensive line. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. We have one player in the, like, more than 70s. Oh, boy. Brandon Warren's back, everybody. He's going to play right guard, maybe. Yeah, losing 2 linemen like that really hurts. This is not going to be a great offensive line. I think Trent Scott is going to start. Cartwright, McClellan, and Warren. I think I'm looking for run blocking there. I know our pass pro isn't going to be great, so the best run blockers are going to play. It's not funny, Blackjack. This is Dynasty I take seriously, and 4 of my starters are going to be in the 70s. I am the worst. I did recruit And all these players would be great if they got to develop a little bit more. And we haven't seen development yet, okay? They're probably going to reach the 80s. I forgot about that. I always get ahead of myself at this stage. All right, let's move an end. I think Markel Ingram will start at right end this year. Beautiful. Let's even out the positions a bit better. We got development. It's going to be okay. We're going to get +6s across the board. Build up fast. Had a legit golden era. Ending kind of all right. Yeah. Do you switch to Navy's offense to compensate for O-line or a more option run type offense? I think it's safe to say it's going to be focused more on the run. But we do have to look at, like, okay, do we need a huge scheme change or not? You know how bad we're going to look in the practice today running the football? We're going to get destroyed by our defense. All linemen get +3s. No, we need some +8s. Maybe a +10. Drake Maddox would have been fun in Madden for sure. I think he would have been an Evan Ingram type player. Watch my interceptions go down because I won't throw the football anymore. All right, training. Elliott Red +5. Jackson +3. All right, so here's what happened at quarterback now. If we do run some sort of option offense, obviously Matt Reddick becomes the quarterback. His accuracy is a little bit better. And those are all the quarterback ratings right now. All right, running backs +6 for Merville and McIntyre. Not much for Jackson. But he's already had super good ratings, so he should have a nice season. Hopefully. Merville, McIntyre, Mark Robinson. All right, Phoenix +6, Sherrod +4, and now we're going to see Derek Jackson, Josh Vincent, who becomes the third wide receiver. I would have to think Vincent has the edge. But Jackson has the route running. Tight end. Oh yeah, and now our other tight ends just get better. I'm thinking Josiah Jensen might become the starter. Him and Navarro are going to battle. I don't think Booth, just because his catching isn't great, his speed isn't great. Yeah. All right, Richards made it to the 80s. Okay. So it's not going to be quite as bad, but it's not going to be that great either. Trey Walker +5. I'm glad he stuck around. Markel Ingram +5. Defensive tackles will both be in the 90s. All right, how did DeHonte get better? +3. Not much for physical skills. Here's what our coverage ratings look like now. Yeah, even 79 overall Lance Davis. Like, they just inflated the man in zone coverage ratings in this game so much. I don't know who's starting at strong safety yet. I was thinking DeMarcus Williams, the true freshman. We'll see. Can't imagine we have too many players to cut. What do we do on offense, though, man? It's the first time I've ever thought, like, how bad would the Flexbone be right now? Oh, man. Gotta cut 2 players. Matthew McNair is one of our lowest rated running backs, and he's going to play a lot this season as a true freshman. What makes him better than Merville now? Is there anything really? Speed is similar, more agile. Rating-wise, the edge does go to Merville. I'm still playing with him today. Brian Davis is the fullback. Can't cut him. Booth may end up playing some fullback, possibly. We'll cut Isaac Smith. Gotta cut one more. Jesse Hemphill. Just poor athleticism. What running back will Kane use for this down? Spin the wheel. Pretty much. Been hyping up McNair since I got a commitment from him. 0 depth on defense, 20 running backs. I know. Inexperienced offensive line. Most experienced quarterback. I'm not cutting Irvin. You all are ridiculous. All because I throw 17 picks in a season. I hope Irvin has a monster year. I don't even know if he's going to start. I'm not even sure if we're running the option. I cannot confirm nor deny that I will run the option this year. Not even an hour really to go through the offseason today. We're going to do some practice though. I think a lot of the interceptions were on me if I were to go through them. But who has time to watch 17 interceptions? That's a lot. Although I know somebody did like a deep dive on all 30 Jameis Winston interceptions. And, like, you know, tried to explain all of them. Preseason rank number 4. That's a leap from 16 where we closed the season last year. Do I have a favorite movie? I wouldn't say so. I don't watch a ton of movies. I've kind of gotten more into watching movies the last couple of years. Like, I wanted to run through all the Toy Stories again because I haven't seen, like, the old ones in so long. I like watching a lot of those animated cartoons, actually. And animated movies in general. Alright, let's get McNair up there. Phoenix Chambers, Sherrod Edwards, Derek Jackson. Let's put in Vincent. I want to see Jensen. You still think the original is the best? Yeah, I watched the original last week, and it's amazing. I think that movie is from the 90s. Just the quality of the visuals and animation. I kind of had a moment last night where I was thinking about how, like, SpongeBob is 20 years old. Can you believe that? Because I remember when that show began. Distinctly. Then I got to think, like, when do they end it? When does SpongeBob ever end? And does it have to end? Because what I also thought was interesting is just you think about, like, movies and stuff that took so long to get sequels. Like, Star Wars did their movies and then, like, nothing for a long time. Or you have, like, big classic movies like the Toy Stories and whatnot. And nowadays, they just want to milk everything. I think we get a Star Wars every 2 years. Like, as far as video games go, they try to annualize as much as possible. I can't believe they didn't start milking things sooner. Like, it wasn't until they saw, like, Activision with Call of Duty and Guitar Hero that they're like, oh yeah, we're supposed to make a bunch of money. Man, thank you. Third Degree dropping the 100 bomb here, man. I appreciate that so much. Hey, Kane, I've been subbed since the UTSA days, and you're definitely the best franchise and dynasty YouTuber out there. Might I suggest you play my school and a bit of a boogie team from the Minnesota Dynasty, Purdue, this year. Thanks for the many years of great content. I'll check them out and see if they fit what I'm looking for. I think I might play Minnesota this year, though. Star Wars has a bunch of comics and books in between the originals and prequels. That is true. But, like, I can't believe they waited so long to do movies. And now it's owned by Disney, so they're going to do like 48 of them. I think also just with the way entertainment has gone and budgets have gone up, like, it's super risky to do new things. It's a lot easier to do remakes and sequels. A lot less risky there. Play Texas again? They've kind of become an issue for us, so I am thinking Texas. I want to get to some practice, though. Now, there is a bug that I finally remembered, I think, to save myself from. There was a formation sub issue where, like, if you carry over your formation subs from one year to the next, it, like, locks up a lot of your options. And why is my screen black? Okay. It would only give you so many formation subs. Like, for so many years, I could only make, like, 13. But I reset at the end of last year, so I think I can do all 50 subs again. Not that I need all 50, but I needed more than, like, 13. I just wanted to make sure they're reset, because oftentimes if you have formation subs, it causes an issue when you load into practice mode. I don't know why, but resetting that fixes the problem. Appreciate the super chat, Agent Smith. Let's cool it on the Luke Irvin. All right, Luke Irvin's our quarterback right now. He deserves some respect. He's been here through a lot with us. I know he didn't have a great year. My fault. Yeah, I think we'll play possibly USC and Oregon State. just to see the Jean-Charles quarterbacks. Can I check Texas State records and see if Kimbrough is in them? I could. Thank you. Let me just go there now. Have I ever heard of Australian football? Yes, Steven, I have. Thank you for the Australian $3 super chat. Is that what the AFL is? Don't they have like a game, or am I thinking of something else? I thought there was a video game. Yeah, the AFL, founded 1896. I remember 1896 like it was yesterday. AFL Evolution, sure enough. Never played it. Is it any good? Is it fun? What's the difference between Australian football and rugby? Oregon State. Courtney Jean-Charles as a senior. Yeah, this is obviously going to happen. Too much for one comment? Really? You can pass by hand and by foot in AFL. I'll have to check it out sometime. Coach Peck, you think Reddick at quarterback for an option offense, Merville and McIntyre at slot back? I'd probably put Merville and McNair at slot back. I think that could definitely work. We'll have to see if it's going to come to that, because an option switch for me would just, it would be way out of left field. Taylor Jean-Charles is a junior. 1 year of starting experience. But he's not even starting, is he? There's Chad Brown. So maybe I won't take on USC. If I can't face Taylor Jean-Charles, it's not as interesting. Forgot where T was in the alphabet for a moment. Chris Parker, same quarterback. I think we may take on Texas again. Someone mentioned Baylor earlier. I'm not sure if it was like real Baylor. I just wanted to check. Okay. Not the strongest roster here. Play Army at West Point to beat the two-time champs. I think so, Adam. I think we are going to take on Army at Army. Oh, of course. Yeah. Taylor Jean-Charles would have transferred by now. I think there are two big things that we miss from NCAA. Actually, three big things that have really happened since the game stopped being made. First of all, the college football playoff would have been amazing in this game. I know it exists in like mods if you can figure that out. But also the transfer portal. And the more pass-focused, wide-open offenses. This game doesn't reflect that quite as well as it probably should. Would I ever do a Bucks-type dynasty in NCAA? I've considered it, and definitely doing the national championship episode yesterday was a good kind of test run for what it would look like. Hey, Cal might be someone to play this year. They got some really good players. Spread option concepts for the trend when NCAA came out. Totally. But it's like the seasons that in careers we've seen for some of these top quarterbacks, like the Joe Burrow season. You don't face teams that really do that in this game. And obviously, this one didn't have the DB wide receiver interactions that were introduced in Madden 16. RPO concepts aren't in the game? No, they're not. And the screen game is very weak, and the screens are a huge part of spread offenses. This game is really a lot more pro style, if you think about it. There are some spread option offenses that are pretty good, but there's a lot of pro style, and then your traditional option offenses as well. I wanted to see the Texas State records, but I feel like Kimbrough didn't have that huge career, but I could be wrong. Missing the emphasis on players leaving early. Absolutely. You get pretty much anybody you want for 4 years in this game. Texas State. Yeah. No records here for Kimbrough. Who would be the next Dynasty team, Kane? I don't know yet, Brandon. I get asked that a lot, but I'm going to do this season, and then I'll think about it for the future, what I want to do. I don't have a plan yet. I just have ideas. I want to practice now. Yeah, the draft system is messed up in the game, and I would say it actually does matter because pro potential is a key part of recruiting, and the logic that determines when players go pro and where they go in the draft is not very good. Because there are certain height-weight thresholds they have to meet, or they will go undrafted, and then the draft positioning focuses too much on overall and not enough on performance. Love the series. Thank you, Marquise. You're always showing support. Favorite player to use in the Kalispell Dynasty? I think it might be Hayden. Hayden Jean-Charles. Like, how many stud tight ends have we had come through my series? I mean, he came in. He was supposed to be Kyle Rudolph and became Gronk. At tight end in NCAA. Play teams with a huge, awesome stadium? Yeah, it might be fun to see some different venues. What stadiums would be cool? We have played Penn State quite a few times. Derek Anelli. Exactly. Derek Anelli, I'm pretty sure, was undrafted. Whoa. Normally, when I go into practice mode here, or is this on Madden? Am I getting confused? I thought normally it wouldn't load my defensive playbook, but this is absolutely it. Ohio State, Bama, Florida, LSU. I will definitely look through those teams and try to face a big powerhouse.
Green 88.
Oh my goodness. One play in, we gotta check replays. Starting audition for Josiah Jensen. Trey Walker's a beast. There he is again. There. Oh, of course. A little bit better, though. He was against the tackle. Yeah, Jensen's not blocking anybody as good as Trey Walker. He is getting destroyed. Oh, man. At the snap, insta-shed every time.
Green 88.
Go away, Trey!
Ready.
Oh, man. You have 99 accuracy, Luke. What is that? Yes.
Let's go. What? Here we go.
48 strength, starting tight end won't work. I'm starting to think that he's going to be more of a package player. And maybe Booth does start. Like, let's swap out Booth right now and see how the blocking changes. I think, you know, I run that tight end flex a lot. Tight end in the slot. And that would be, like, totally Jensen's spot to thrive. But let's try Booth there. He has 77 strength. So, same plays. You should revisit NCAA 13 franchise. And also, I was the one who tweeted you the picture with 5 incoming transfers in one off season. I can't even get 5 incoming transfers in a series. Appreciate the super chat. What do you mean by revisit the NCAA 13 one? Because I don't want to play that game again. But as I've talked before, that UTSA team is in a team builder on my console. It exists. Anthony Payne down the seam.
Let's go. Green hot. Ready. Green 19.
Let's go.
Set. 180. Hot.
I always think about this when I play here. It's like random plays, right? And there's like 20 plays probably to pick from. Like the chances it picks the same play back to back.
Ready. 180.
It like annoys me.
Set. Green 88.
Yeah, NCAA 13 is not a game I want to play again because of the DB glitch. It's too impactful. Next series should definitely have the playoff mod. I can try to give it a look, because how awesome would that be to finish with a college football playoff? You know, I don't know with our offensive line and some of our weaknesses that we would be a part of it, but I can look into it and how doable it would be for me.
Green 90. Green.
What's the glitch? So in NCAA 13, there was what was called the DB glitch, which is where the safeties would bite on action that never happened. So they would bite like they're expecting play action or defending the run when it's a pass play, and they'd let players run right past them, and it would happen very frequently. If you just spam verticals, it would happen. Maybe not every play, but it would happen enough, and that alone is kind of a game changer. Like after a while, I had to just keep myself from calling verticals because they would have been so OP. It might have been more prevalent with lower rated defensive backs, but I was using UTSA, so I had lower rated defensive backs.
Ready. Green 19. Green hot. Ready. Green 19. Ready. White 80. White hot.
Are we going to see Reddit compete to start?
White 80.
Possibly. It almost made me wish we had preseason. A couple scrimmage games.
Ready. Red hot. Ready. White 80.
I want to see McNair. I want to see Matthew McNair right now. I've been waiting for this, okay? Let me switch the plays and everything. I don't know why it has like this bug where like there's like empty pages in the playbook. This would be more of a Matt Reddick formation. Yeah, I added this one. Like, before the last few games, I'm like, okay, I got to make some changes here to the playbook. I added stuff like play action jet wheelies. I know I hit a touchdown in one of the games with that play. There's some really cool stuff here. What else was new that I added? I still have faith in Luke Irvin. Bounce back year. You're the only one, Alex. Maybe you and me. Oh, God, the DB glitch. Don't remind me. I know. I don't like talking about it. Bad memories. Although I do look back at that game fondly because the UTSA series was so fun. But, man, that glitch, just the worst taste. It'll leave. What else did I add? I think single back, wing trio, I added a bunch of stuff. Not that it's like this special formation, but it's something I switched to. Alright, Matthew McNair. Oh, that's the most boring play in the game. It's not even proper spacing concept. Alright, first play. To McNair as a toss. We got a block for him, though. Oh, my goodness. Try the Flexbone in practice. Is that what the series is coming to? Hey, Kane, try the Flexbone. I just realized that my series, Blackjack, this just became Festivus. Run the Flexbone. Unbelievable. Bucks Super Bowl anytime soon? Yep, tomorrow. Tomorrow. Run the Flexbone. The Wishbone. I think the Flexbone is more versatile. I've seen more Flexbone offenses than Wishbone offenses anyway. The threat you want with the option is like directions. I guess you can do it the same way with the Wishbone. But the Flexbone, I understand it better. Picked up any new hobbies due to lack of sports? You know, it would have been a great opportunity for that. I can't say I've picked up any new hobbies. I think I just watch a lot more Twitch now. That's not necessarily the best use of my time. I started watching the stock market a little bit more. Start rolling right and the transformation is complete. Oh, man. Been watching any anime? No, but I'm telling you, I think a good anime would hit the spot right now. I think I do need something to watch. I always think this, though, but I think that starting... Like, the first anime I really got into was Death Note. And I felt like I started at, like, too high. Because it's like... I watched a few after that. Tried, like, Sword Art Online. Which I thought was really good for a little while. And then I lost interest. Death Note, to me, is like... I'm not even, like, experienced at watching anime. And I already think it's the pinnacle. It's so good. You gonna watch NBA when it comes back? Absolutely. I don't even have TV right now, so I haven't even watched the PGA stuff or NASCAR or anything. I kind of want to get into golf a little bit. Maybe something. I like how Kalispell had their 4 to 5 golden years and are now just an upper tier team that hovers in the 8 to 25 range. Feels realistic. Yeah, I mean, recruiting never got, like, easy mode in the series. It got easier, but it never got easy to get 5-star players that weren't already interested in us. I've tried to bring in really, really good players, and I get shut down year after year. NCAA 13 recruiting system is what needs to be revisited because it's too easy to recruit in 14. Promises mattered in 13. I suggest One Punch Man for an anime. Alright, I've heard of it. I agree. The recruiting in 13, actually, I prefer it. Because not only, like you said, did promises matter, but there were soft commits and hard commits. You all, not everybody here, but many of you will remember Fred Arnold from the UTSA series, the first player that ever gave me a soft commit and then said, see ya, and went to Colorado. That was a big deal, because just because you had a commitment didn't mean it was a done deal. Whereas in this game, you get your commit, and every 18-year-old senior in high school sticks to their initial decision. Log Horizon Kane. It's better than Sword Art Online. What is Log Horizon? Something tells me it has nothing to do with logs. Or lumber at all. Oh, but it's about an MMO? I think I'd actually like to check that out. Drop on hangers in Warzone. Eddie knows what's up. Hangers is one of my favorite drops. I loved the idea of Sword Art Online, but like, I think halfway through the first season, they just lost me. Yeah, let's switch up formations. Let's go with this one. Yeah, the running game has been really disappointing. I think that was kind of to be expected. Oh boy. Bang. So, are we going to start Booth at tight end? I think Navarro would still play. And he would get a couple formations where he would specifically get subbed in. But, I don't think that we have the protection to pass a ton. Therefore, we have to run, and his strength is just kind of a liability. Jeez, McNair just got destroyed by whoever was blitzing. Irvin airs it out. Dan Red. He can get to everything. He was going for a one-hander. He's just cocky at this point. Alright, we've seen Irvin a lot. Let's see what Reddit can do right now. Also, let's try... We know Sherrod well enough. Let's make that change. Jensen has 67 strength. We tried Jensen. We didn't really try... Or no, we tried Navarro. Let's try Jensen. Good effort. Saga of Tanya, The Evil, and Gurren Lagann are more suggestions for anime, but it really depends on what genre you like. For me, it's... I don't know that word. Or Slice of Life. I think I would need to be spoon-fed more information here. But yeah, good suggestions already. I know there's like 1 million of them on Netflix. Hopefully they're there, right? Because that's where I'll probably be looking. Ooh. My wife is also more into anime than I am, so I'll have to see if she's familiar with any of these.
Let's go! Green 19! Hurry! Blue 88! Blue 88! Let's go! Hurry!
Is there even like a clean hurdle animation in this game? Or is it just got to be like timed perfectly against the diving tackle? I still love to try the hurdle, but its success rate is quite low. Alright, this formation has like 4 plays we're calling. You've had tons of clean hurdles. Maybe I'm not good at it. Maybe I just like hurdles and I'm horrible at it. Definitely possible. Give McNair a chance, guys. He just got here. Does that count? Slants and drags, slants and drags. I wanted offense a bit more creative than that. But you're not wrong. I think I want to do a little slider test quick. Can I change sliders from practice mode? Or do I have to exit out? I think I have to exit. I found you through the other channel, but I love you anyway. Thank you for that super chat. Yep, just different styles of content is all. You don't double juke enough. I know. That one actually works really well in this game. And I have players with such good ratings that I need to use them more. I do like the spin move too much. I think it's just because circle is just, it's right there. So I'm going to hit circle. Even though, like, the spin move, like, is more of a video game move than a real football move. Like, spins can be useful, but the situations, I think, differ when they work in real life. Because when I think of a spin move in real life, I kind of think of players being trapped in the backfield and quickly trying to change direction, not trying to make somebody miss in the open field. That's where I'm thinking a juke, obviously, or a stutter step of some sort. That's always been kind of weird to me how spins work in football games. Let's get some tunes. This one's kind of good. Got like an 80s vibe to it. I want to try CPU pass coverage on 40 and see how balanced that is instead of 35. Check Wyoming's roster. I can do it. The Braxton Miller open field spin move begs to differ. I mean, there are certainly examples, and Lamar's last year, I mean, that's tattooed to all of our memories at this point, I'm sure. But I think in general, first of all, I think more players have the agility to pull off a juke than spin. A proper spin move. I know Scott Tolzien did the spin against like Latroy Guion like 7 years ago, Packers versus Vikings in a terrible overtime game that was a tie. But I think that the spin has been dramatically overhyped for 25 years. All right, Wyoming. They don't suck. Oh, you wanted to see Mastorovich from the Pride of Billings. Woo, 7 career picks. A Wyoming reunion here in the last year makes a lot of sense. Eddie Lacy has a great spin move. I always tried to make a specific running backs who specialize in spins versus jukes. I like that. We could possibly take them on as like our tune-up game, especially given the state of the roster and all the questions we have about, do we run the Flexbone? I mean, Wyoming is a classic team. We haven't seen them in so long. I know they're not that great. So many teams have freshman kickers. What's funny is a lot of them are actually like on really good teams too. Kicker transfer, there's a new one. FCS West. I have never taken on an FCS team. I wonder how many points I would have put up with the Brandon Warren teams. We probably could have hit triple digits. Isn't it weird to think about all these players that we've seen have like short careers in the NFL that are already like gone, like Eddie Lacy? I swear, I woke up one day and it was like 5 years later. Eddie Lacy, drafted 2013, has not played since 2017. He had a solid 5-year career. That's probably above average. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year. I forget that. He was an Offensive Rookie of the Year, Pro Bowler, All-Pro running back as a rookie. Josh Rosen's career never started. I wonder what's next? The Dolphins can't be it, right? Josh Rosen right now is QB3 on the depth chart. Average NFL career is about 2.5 years long. Yeah, that's including, you know, a lot of players that have very, very short careers. A lot of 7th round picks and undrafted players that can't carve out a key role. 5-year career is really solid in something like football. You think Josh Rosen is a career backup? My question is, I would actually disagree with that for now. Unless, like, teams regard him as, like, this Chase Daniel style backup quarterback, or, you know, we haven't seen Daniel throw that many passes in his career either. Of course, he helped beat the Vikings last year. That was kind of fun. But has he? I don't know that he has done enough to even secure that kind of a role, like how like what Sean Mannion has with the Vikings. I think to have that role, you have to have, first of all, you have to have a lot of use in like the quarterback room and like meetings and game prep. And then you got to be passable on the field. Is Rosen either of those? I want to see it because, like, I like the Josh Rosen at UCLA. He went to one awful situation to another, but he got 2 shots. He maybe has one more shot, and it's not going to be a glamorous one. Like, who has a better chance to start a game this year? Realistically, Josh Rosen or PJ Walker? Which one? PJ Walker is going to back up Teddy in Carolina. And Rosen is right now QB3. I'd probably say Walker has a better chance to start a game this year. I don't know if the Panthers will be any good. I don't think they will. Their defense is pretty much all brand new. If you didn't realize this, by the way, the Panthers spent every single pick they had on defense this year. So they're going to be super young. They're going to deal with this offseason. But their offense could be capable of putting up some points. CMC. DJ Moore. Curtis Samuel. Not bad. And then Robbie Anderson is going to be the, oh yeah, he went to Carolina player.
Green 88. Green. Here we go.
Cam to the Steelers. I think that makes a lot of sense. The spin.
Here we go.
I got to work on my double juke, though.
Here we go.
Let me get in the open field.
Set. Red 68. Ready. Green 19.
Who thinks the Seahawks make the playoffs? I'd have to think so. But that NFC West this year, probably not going to be so simple as Jensen goes up to grab one. Okay. Ooh. That's DeMarcus Williams at strong safety. I'm testing him again. He's got the range. That's part of why I want him to start. Like, we have a 76 overall safety who's, like, actually slow. He's, like, 82. See ya. I don't feel like running the rest of the way.
Let's go. Right. Ready. Wide 80.
It's so fun to have safeties with range in this game because you can sit in cover two, and the CPU will think they can hit certain throws, and they can't.
Here we go. Wide 80. Wide 80.
Yeah, Walker definitely has a lot to prove in the preseason, and last year I don't think he had a very good preseason. But, you know, I want to see how legit this XFL experience was for him, because he looked like a really good quarterback in the XFL. At the pace 2020 has moved, doesn't that feel like it was years ago? PJ Walker in the XFL? That was just like a few months ago.
Ready. Wide 80. Hot. Here we go. Green 19.
Exactly. You can run cover two with the right safeties in this game. I prefer to run the cover two.
Green 95.
I'll show you what it looks like.
Green 95.
Let's go spread flex next. The cover two I like to call is this one. So there isn't a huge void in the middle of the field because it's not Tampa 2 coverage. But you only get to rush 3. So you better trust those 3 rushers. But it's kind of the cover as much as we can kind of defense. That one checks the most boxes. I am sad about the XFL as well because it was actually good. I liked the Alliance. The XFL was a lot better than the Alliance. It wasn't even close. The Only thing I can remember now about the Lions is Mike Berkovici getting absolutely annihilated on that one hit. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I enjoyed the most. It's like year-round football. Like, most of us here love the NFL. And then, you know, even if you're not into college, I think we're all interested in, like, the key college games, the big rivalries and the bowl games and whatnot. And it's always there. You know, if you want to watch it, you can watch MAC on Thursday night. See ya. Keeps calling this play in particular. Yeah, the Alliance, you know, didn't have the budget or anything, or even the expectations of the XFL. I mean, it was run by Vince McMahon, and a lot of money. They didn't have to have somebody from the NHL all of a sudden. I don't remember what that was. Like a bunch of money to bail out the league after like a month. Like the XFL was supposed to work. And then you have, you know, the first global pandemic on this scale in like a century, and there it goes. I appreciate that, Elijah. Thank you for the kind words. I live in Tuscaloosa and everything is football. I imagine it's different living in a big college football town. I have never really experienced that. Where it's just like a way of life, college football. I know in Texas, even if Friday Night Lights is any indication, Texas high school football, pretty big deal. Let's get McNair back out there. Imagine living in Maine. You know, you run into people online all the time. It's like, oh, where are you from? You know, it's usually like Texas, California, a place that, you know, big place. How come I never run into anybody that's like, yeah, I'm from Delaware? Like, are we sure the East Coast is real? Is anyone from Delaware? There's like 2 lighthouses in Maine. All I know about Maine is the seafood industry. Whoa! Settle. Is Wyoming real? I know that the outdoors in Wyoming are real. But I think Wyoming, no, Montana is like the least densely populated state. I think everybody in Montana gets their own county. And they're all technically the mayor. As someone who lived in the state next to Delaware, no one lives in Delaware. It's just a bunch of corporations. Oh, man. Kane, I live in Long Island. See, that's New York. Doesn't Wyoming have just one escalator? Oh, man. Oh, Reddick, what happened there? Blackjack and I have had this same exact conversation, and I'm pretty sure we've had it like more than once.
Way to go! Black 85! Black 85! Hut!
I think the least populated state I've been to would have to be probably North Dakota.
20!
But I've been to Fargo, so it's like, that's North Dakota. I've been to the North Dakota.
Let's go! Black 90, check! Let's go!
I've never been to South Dakota. No, I've been close, but never.
20! Hut! 20! Black 68! Black 68! Hut!
Wait, I'm not sure I like this song that much. I mean, it's like really loud in my ear right now.
18! Red 18!
Have I been to Washington State? I have not.
Hut!
I went there in a couple video games, though. There's that double juke I gotta get more familiar with. Bang. Delaware is not a terrible state. Live close. Have 400-pound Patton Applewhite versus Craig Booth at fullback for a battle. We'll love to see running back by committee. Patton Applewhite at fullback. We might have to bust it out today. Man, Reddit can spin. Never been to Tennessee. No. I've been to obviously Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, New York, California, North Carolina. And then because I moved to Texas and drove through the country multiple times, I've been to Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma. I don't think I missed one. Yeah, it was... Yeah, that's right. My favorite state to go through is definitely Oklahoma. I think. Yeah. Mostly because got like to like the Red River, I'm like, hey, something different to look at. I'm like, wow, the river's actually red. It's not just the name. Least favorite state to drive through? I'd probably say Iowa. Because at least Kansas had the Kansas Turnpike, which is like a stretch of road that's super empty. You can drive pretty fast, and like every 5 miles there's a McDonald's. Although I did drive through like a lot of rural Kansas, and that wasn't like the most interesting either. Stick to the turnpike if you can. Iowa wasn't that good to drive through, but it's not that huge of a state. You get through it. It was kind of weird though when I did the drive to Texas, because like most of the places that I had been far away were always by plane. But it's like, you know, in the morning I leave, and by the afternoon I see Patrick Mahomes billboards in Kansas City. That was kind of weird. I like driving through Kansas City. After all the like freeway and stuff, I couldn't tell you how excited I was to like drive through like Kansas City and then like drive through Dallas, just for something different. Oh, look at that. Who do I like more, Judy or Lamb? I think Lamb has the higher ceiling, but I'm pretty confident in Judy being like, you know, a routine 800, 900 yard at least receiver. But I think CD Lamb has a better chance of becoming a top 5 guy. Which led me to think he would be the first receiver taken. Ketchup on steak night? Oh yeah, doesn't Mahomes like ketchup on steak? To be fair, I think ketchup goes with just about anything. At the worst, it's just gonna be okay. But I feel like you can't put ketchup on much that makes it bad. Maybe tacos. I wouldn't do that. But I also haven't tried it. When do you plan on ending the Kalispell series? I'm planning on this being the last season. I've thought about it for a while, and I think that, you know, this is going to end the era, especially for, like, Luke Irvin and everything. We're never going to feel like we want it to end exactly, or that there's nothing left, or we don't want to see a journey for a player, but this is going to be the last one. I wouldn't put ketchup on tacos. Or steak. Well, I might try it on steak. Like, if I didn't have any sauce of any kind and all I had was a bottle of ketchup, I'd probably try it. But I haven't run into that dilemma yet. I always have something. Ketchup on fruit salad, okay. A little too far. See, this is why I spin. The spin in this game is so OP. Sour cream on tacos? No. No, I don't like sour cream. Man. Not when you could have, like, really good queso or salsa. And I'm kind of weird when it comes to, like, you know, two, like, saucy condiments on one thing. Like, I wouldn't want, like, the liquid of salsa mixing with sour cream to create some sort of concoction. It's not exactly ketchup and mustard now. Which might as well just go in the same bottle. They're both great. I'm so hungry now. So am I. Oh boy, it's gonna be a fight to not go get some tacos or something tonight. What's wrong with ketchup on a taco? It's just tomato. Yeah, it's basically salsa. I agree with Kane. At Chipotle, their salsa and queso is so good. Yeah, I like the salsa at Chipotle a lot. I get the hot stuff. That red salsa. Heading to work. Thanks for coming, Marquise. Hope you had a good time. McNair is pretty good. Yeah, I think he's going to get some playing time this year. I kind of thought he might have this huge role, but after seeing the ratings and comparing to Merville, I got to be realistic there. But I want to get him touches, and if he does well, then he'll earn more. Yeah, my love for spicy food is kind of growing. I wasn't always into it, but now I'm not sure I know exactly what I even like when it comes to spicy food, but I know that I do enjoy, like, spicy Mexican food and whatnot, so I'll figure it out. Whatever peppers it is I like, or whatever. I think Reddick's playing pretty well. McNair's playing pretty well. I think Elliott Red is a problem.
Black. Let's go. Hi. Let's go. Black 98. Black 98. Hi.
Hope y'all have had a good time today. I know the viewership has dropped off a bit here that we're in the practice, but I thank you all for spending some time with me today. Might wrap up here in a little bit, but I think there was a request to see Patton Applewhite at fullback, so let me honor that quick. It's always been kind of weird to me how, like, players come in with, like, no skills at certain position. Like, I don't think that most defensive tackles would be, like, 40 overall fullbacks. Or, like, how pretty much everybody drafted that's not a quarterback has, like, no accuracy unless you have Blackjack's classes. And then there's probably players at most positions that have some throwing ability.
Black 90. Black 90.
I think around 23 years old, I figured out what I was tasting in spicy food, and it made my appreciation of it go up. Love sriracha, habanero, jalapeno. I don't think I'm into sriracha too much. Definitely like jalapeno. Habanero is maybe a little bit too spicy for me sometimes. Yeah, I think that EA would benefit greatly from a approach more like Blackjack's when it comes to class creation. There are a lot of reasons why I like Blackjack's classes a lot more. I think just exploring different player archetypes, and the main thing is well-defined strengths and weaknesses. I feel like EA is too scared to go too far in one direction when they rate players. So they don't have, you know, players that have 90 zone coverage but 70 man, you know, similar to JT Granger from the last Broncos draft. Or, you know, to have a wide receiver or whatever that has like really good route running abilities. Like, there are receivers that enter the draft and they will be one of the best route runners on day one. Madden doesn't really have that. I think Madden is kind of trending closer to that kind of direction in the overall game design, when you consider how they've broken up the system now to focus on player archetypes. So it's like they're giving themselves some tools to be like, okay, it's okay to have a weakness. It doesn't sink a player. They can, you know, survive on their strengths, which is what the game of football is all about. There are 22 players on the field. They're not all great at everything. I love to just have a job creating player types. Even if you think they can play a different position, they might not have everything needed to do it day one. Yeah, position switches and whatnot is really fun, and it just doesn't happen by default very often. And when it does, it's like receiver to running back, where, you know, there's a lot, the Venn diagram of necessary skills has a lot of overlap at those positions. Look at Applewhite. Lead the way for McNair. He's not bad at this. But he's also not that fast. I think EA focuses too much on the rating number, not the player makeup. I think so too. But another thing they've done is they have started to explore more of the overall range. So, you know, there are players in the game now that are usable, that are overalls are in the 60s. And certain ratings are going down further. One weakness EA is willing to define is like deep accuracy. There are players you can draft in Madden that have like 60 deep accuracy. That's pretty low. But how many receivers have 60 catching and like 82 route running? How many Marquand Clifford type of players are there? When an EA class tries to create a player like that, they'll have like 70 catching and like 80 route running, which to me just says, you know, 2 years away from being pretty well-rounded.
Flag 98! Flag 98! Hut! There! Flag 98! Flag 98! Let's go! Hut! Let's go! 395! Hut!
I do not have Instagram.
Let's go! Hut! Let's go! Flag 5!
Should we try some Flexbone? Should we at least give it a shot? I do like how you can get a Barry Roy type player and make him good from like a 59. Yeah, that's one thing that has been really good is like low-rated players don't need a lot to get better. So you can take 50 overall players at most positions, I'd say, and play them, make them focus players, and watch over the years as they develop. I've done it many times in the Buccaneers series. Oh, exactly, Blackjack. We never have that conversation when it comes to an EA player because there's just... the players aren't polarizing enough. You roughly know what you're going to get because those extremes aren't tested. The rating ranges are so compact. If you're wrong, you're not going to be, like, way off. You might be a couple tiers away. Alright, so what's the right way to set this up then? I'll just throw on Army's playbook. Do I get to pick my playbook here? Because it loads that. Is there anything I need to know about the offseason? We lost 4 players to the pros early. We lost Drake Maddox. We lost Nick Lindsay. We lost Sylvester Osthorne and Josh Schmidt. So the offensive line has taken a major hit. And I'm not stoked about it. I think my coach info tab. I promise Georgia Tech is way better. Has run and shoot and better play action passing concepts. I'll try Georgia Tech then. I've played against them before. I'll have to remember to edit this. Not the kind of thing you want to forget. Is that why McNair got destroyed sometimes? No O-line? That's exactly it. Alright, let's try GT. Give it a shot. Yeah, defense always looks good in practice, and we got some standouts there that make it tough to do a whole lot. Alright, let's try this again. I can't believe we're doing this right now. Did not think we'd be doing that today. I knew most of our challenges going forward, but we brought forth a few new ones today. Smooth or chunky peanut butter? I would go smooth because I just don't like being surprised by texture. Like, oh, that bite didn't really have any chunks, and oh, here is a whole cluster. I don't like the guessing game. Yeah, Raiden, I don't think you'll be seeing that in any EA football games anytime soon. Flexbone, pistol, shotgun. All right. Let me switch up my depth chart then. So, who does it make the slot backs? I'm guessing the top 2 running backs. So, I think for the proper setup here, it would be this. McNair, Merville as slot back, and then Jackson is kind of the fullback. Why? I better get the right quarterback on the field. And put the ball back here. First play's pretty good. Alright, who's 23? Where is he lined up? Sup, Kane, what have I missed so far? Jalen, you missed basically the whole offseason at this point. But, you know, we lost a lot of players as we expected. But we lost a few more. Lost Nick Lindsay and Drake Maddox to the pros. We lost Sylvester Osthorne and Josh Schmidt. And then 3 backups actually transferred away. We didn't really do a ton in recruiting to, like, fix that. But now we're looking at a weaker offensive line for sure. And we are running the Flexbone offense right now just to see what it would look like because we've taken such a hit along the offensive line. Oh, man, you just can't out-throw Elliott Red. It just doesn't happen. And these are plays I've never run before. Can I hand this off if I want to? No, it's always play action. Bang. Wow. This is definitely different. Normally I can just run plays, but I have to actually look at the play art here. Thank you for the second super chat, Jalen. I appreciate that. You are so deep at running back. Have Reddick and Craig Booth. Think this would work super well. What's happening right now? Whoops. This play art, I've just never seen play art like this. Okay. I think what I'm favoring right now is maybe getting the Flexbone into the offense so it's there. And then test it out and see what direction the offense needs to go if it needs to alter course. Jalen, I appreciate you becoming a new member on the channel as well. I'll be doing the channel member live stream tomorrow, live, at 1 o'clock Central. All right, what is this? Triple option. Lost the ball. Just the timing on some of these like mesh points is a little bit different for me, being in this formation.
59.
Bring back Road to Glory. That'd be a great substitute for KC. I don't know, Eli. Road to Glory is a lot of fun. I do like it a lot. I haven't played in a while, though. I never hand it off to the fullback here. McNair. Not bad. We are also pretty deep at wide receiver. We could be running the most weird hybrid offense we ever have. You could have Flexbone, spread option, pro style concepts. It is the buffet of offense. DeHonte Jeffries is playing pretty well. In my team builder dynasty, I always recruited running backs with good catching and would target him every play. Stuff like empty bubble worked pretty well. Yeah, empty bubble, that's... They don't line up in the backfield in empty bubble. That's a weird play. Like, there are some plays where the formation literally adjusts based on the play that's called. It happens in Madden, too. There are some formations where I call a run and I audible to a pass, and, like, every receiver moves a little bit. Widen their splits. Adam Kane, Road to Glory. No one wants to see that. Not even you want to see that. Elliott Red. Can't catch Reddick. Last question for tonight. Thoughts on Big Ten West? I think Purdue is a dark horse now that we're healthy. Rondale Moore to be first team All-American. I am excited about Rondale Moore, but that's tough. I want to see the whole West again.
Let's go. Flag 68. Flag 68.
Yeah, I remember watching Rondale Moore as a freshman. It's fun when a freshman steps on the field and they just like separate themselves from everybody else. I mean, I think Minnesota's still going to be really tough. I don't know they'll be as good as last year. Wisconsin should still be pretty tough. Iowa is usually really good. It could be a battle. I don't know. I mean, obviously I like Minnesota, so I'm kind of thinking they'll have a really good shot to put together another strong year. They lost some pro talent, though. They lost Tyler Johnson. I still think Minnesota's going to be a problem, and that's a nice change of pace.
Flag 98. Flag 98. Hut. Flag 5. Hut. Here we go.
That was weird.
59 Philly. Wide 88. Wide 88.
To run the flex, you'll need to learn concepts of the base plays, triple, midline, speed, load, and counter option. Yep. I haven't really run any counter option before. I think one thing that would make this easier too is if I could actually like see the plays names. I would better understand it because this play art,
Red 18.
I'm not used to so much of this being like blocking. There's like the tackle pulling here. Merville's out in front.
Green 45. Green 45.
Could be a strange year. Who do I think? It's Trevor Lawrence. You know, it wouldn't shock me at all if it was Carolina. I don't want to see them be that bad. You know, I want to see Teddy play well. I've been a really big fan of Teddy for a long time. And now that he's really getting this shot again after the terrible injury, I want to see him do well. Realistically, I know the Panthers probably won't be very good. Doesn't mean their offense won't be good. But I think a team like Jacksonville doesn't really have a lot of paths to success this year, so they make a lot of sense. I think we're adding Flexbone to the offense. It might not be the offense, but it's going to be added. And I think I definitely want that Wyoming tune-up game. Man, you just can't get away from Trey Walker. DeHonte Jeffries has ball skills. I'm trying to throw at Jeffries now just to see more animations. Whoa, get away. Wow, Merville. Patriots tanking for Lawrence. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest mysteries is like, how will the Patriots be? Especially if Stidham is the starter. It's not just that it won't be Tom Brady, but it's a backup that I don't think, you know, most were expecting to become a starter. But they apparently really like him, as evidenced by selecting him, letting him get experience last year, and also not aggressively pursuing other quarterbacks this offseason. Hoyer might start at some point, possibly. I remember when Hoyer kind of broke out in 2013, and it was like, okay, he might actually be pretty good. And he had some good games with Cleveland. I know he had a really good start when he became the starter. Because he's the quarterback that helped Josh Gordon have that first like big season, right? Was it Hoyer? I know it wasn't Manziel. Yeah, Gary Barnidge. Can't remember, was Barnidge at the same time as Jordan Cameron or before Jordan Cameron? I can't even remember. I do remember when Jordan Cameron and Cameron Jordan made the Pro Bowl. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I think with like the Patriots coaching, especially their defense, like I still think the floor is like 8 wins. But I don't know, it's almost hard to give a fair opinion on it because we've just watched this team dominate for 2 decades. It's like we can't accept any other outcome. I don't think anybody wants to say the Patriots could go 11-5, but we could be sitting here at the end of the year saying, Wait a minute. Why didn't we see this coming? They're a football team. They're not, you know, some otherworldly being.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
But I just think the Patriots defense, like, it's not just good. It's one of the best in the league. Matt Castle did go 11-5 with the Patriots, but that was also when they had, like, Randy Moss. But I guess, like, what was the difference between Castle becoming the starter versus Stidham? They were not... I think Stidham had a lot more college, you know, experience, because I don't think Castle ever played at USC. Stidham had more experience. He wasn't coming off his best season, I don't think. I think his prior year was better. Hey Kane, I got here late, but happy to be here. Been watching since Minnesota. Thanks for all the great content over the years. I appreciate that, EDC. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Castle backed up Leinart at USC, whereas Stidham played. Didn't always play great at Auburn. I know, I'm not showing any love to the dive. Maybe eventually. I got a lot to learn if I'm going to run the Flexbone at all. This would be a good way, though, to utilize all of our backs and to mask the O-line issues a little bit, as well as utilize Reddick's speed. Could be one of the most weird offenses I have ever run. Kind of a good way to utilize the backs in the passing game, too. Stidham was at Baylor? I didn't know that. Way overthrown. He actually overthrew Elliott Red. I can DM you some of the offense in Twitter. Yeah, just tweet me a few links if you got something on the Flexbone, because I am not used to it in NCAA. Phoenix Chambers. I do remember there was a mock draft that had Mitch Leidner in the first round. I absolutely remember that. Couldn't believe my eyes. Leidner played quarterback for a game, though, in preseason. I'm not sure if anybody ever tried to move him to tight end or something, but that was probably his best path to playing in the NFL. Yeah, I would assume Tanner Morgan's good enough to get drafted. Whoa! He like animated awkwardly for that. This play has a built-in drop where it's like he takes steps to the right. There we go. I'm giving the dive a little more love now. The camera gets messed up on that jet play. Come on, Reddick. Oh, but his arm has gotten better, though. It's gotten stronger. All right, I want to know this formation then, because I like these plays in particular. Is this just normal flex? Yep, Flexbone normal. What a weird development. I could see Minnesota having like a 9-win season, maybe 10 if they win their bowl game. All right, everybody, I think that's going to do it for today's off-season live stream. Thank you for being a part of it. I will be working on the Broncos preseason, and then I guess I got to do a little playbook fixing here in this series because I think we're going to run a little bit of Flexbone this year. What a weird off-season. Thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe, try to get some time to relax, and I will catch you all later on. Please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already. And I'll see you all later. Thanks for coming.